What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Connor McGrory, and I'm here to answer some questions about our bus named Bacon, such as why do we choose a charter bus instead of a school bus? Are there any pros and cons to it? Whether any kind of hidden fees or, any regrets that we had going into this build. So to go back to the beginning, I've had this bus for about 8 months now, but I've actually been looking for a schoolie for almost 3 years. Got on government deals, was starting to place bids, but school buses never really clicked in my mind. For me, I started seeing issues with insurance start popping up. Buses were getting dropped left and right. RV parks were starting to deny them, and I started questioning why exactly I wanted a school bus. They didn't have any kind of undercarriage storage. I was going to have to do a roof raise. And yes, they're extremely safe, but they're only meant to drive kids to and from school. There's a reason why they retire them after 100,000 miles. So then I started thinking about charter buses, and I came across some on the marketplace, and they had the undercarriage storage, they had the higher roofs. These things are built to go 2 million miles. So that's just kind of what made me switch over to a charter bus. I just love the way they look. I love the features on them. Even just the reliability of it. So I just fell in love with that 80s era with stainless steel on the bottom. I just thought they were beautiful. So we started looking there, and that's when I found the bus, and we started the whole process of purchasing it and driving it home. And of course, ran into some issues. It broke down about 40 miles outside Memphis, and we were able to actually limp all the way home, but that kind of goes into the regrets that I did have. I didn't really look it over too much. Did notice that the radiators were in as bad a shape as I thought as they were. So of course one of those blew up on me, and that was the end of that, which actually led into the motor overheating, and we had to get a rebuild. So to get both of those radiators rebuilt, that was $5,000, and then the motor took about 4 months, and that cost me about $25,000. Another thing that we ran into that I wasn't quite expecting was the suspension was completely gone. It was all original from '81, but it was weird. It all aired up really good. It drove great whenever we were test riding it, so I didn't question that at all. But now that I'm actually underneath it and taking it apart, it's honestly amazing that I even made it home. So yeah, that's just kind of where we are with the process right now. I'm replacing the airbags, the motor's been replaced, the radiators have been replaced. So all in all, I'm probably 35,000 into the whole build right now. We haven't even made it to the interior yet. And another thing, that we come to find out later on in the demolition was that almost every single one of those windows leaked, which caused a huge rust issue. Most of the structure underneath the windows is completely rotted away. So that also is kind of at an expense that I didn't really expect. But it was kind of a blessing in disguise because I'm 6 foot. The bus is about 6'6" right now, and I plan on putting a pretty good bit of insulation in there. So now that we found the rust, it's kind of pushed me to go towards the roof raise. So we're going to raise it about 8 inches. That way we can get some more headroom, more insulation, and just feel a little bit more comfortable. This is something that we're going to have for the rest of our lives. So I just want to make sure that we're doing it right and that we're both happy inside of this thing. So that just kind of takes all the expenses, the regrets. Definitely when I found out the motor was burnt up and the radiators were shot, I questioned why we even did this, and I just thought I was an idiot for a long time for doing it. But now that it's all back, I got it put together, and we started up. It feels great. I'm super excited about that, and it was kind of a good thing that all this went out now, opposed to going down the road and the radiators go out, and then I find out the motor's not good, and we're trying to go on this big adventure, and we can't because we're stuck in the shop half the time. So a bit of a blessing in disguise, because now, I'm on a fresh motor, I have fresh radiators, the suspension's gonna be good. I'm gonna know exactly how this thing has been serviced and taken care of because I'm the one that did it. And that kind of leads me into another point is, a lot of these people just buy school buses and don't get them checked out mechanically, and they just build them out to look really pretty. That's not the route that I wanted to take. I wanted to take this thing apart piece by piece and make sure everything is brand new, everything is safe to drive around, and it's going to last me a long time. So that being said, you know, it's a lot of money up front, but I'm really excited for it. Just because I'm going to know that it's safe. I'm going to know that it's reliable. So yeah, well, it's kind of where we are with that. As far as like the pros and cons, you know, we are going to be driving around a 40-foot bus. I think when it's all said and done, you know, it's going to be about a little over like 12 and a half feet tall. Which still leaves us pretty short, but you know, if we go to a little town or something like that and there's a low underpass bridge, you know, it's something that we're definitely gonna have to be leery of. Where school buses, they're a lot lower to the ground, you know, they don't have to worry about it. Some of the other issues that we ran into, you know, was just finding parts. It was kind of hard at first, but at the end of the day, we ended up finding USA Coach and was able to get a hold of Lucas. He's been phenomenal through this whole thing. You know, I give him a call. He has every part in stock. It is expensive. It is very expensive to actually work on these buses. Way more expensive than a school bus. But, you know, these parts are actually relatively available. So that's been nice. Like I said, the expense thing, horrible. But, you know, at the end of the day, this stuff is going to last me the next 40, 50 years. So that's just kind of where we're at with that. Yeah, like I said, we're working on suspension right now. Once that's done, you know, we're going to start working on the roof raise and getting rid of all the rust. Luckily, the rest of the frame and everything else it looks like it's in really good shape. The air beams all hold air. Luckily for right now, it's just the airbags that were leaking. Shocks, those were completely gone. Radius rod bushings, those were completely shot as well. So for right now, we look like we're in good shape. What a lot of people don't even know about these buses is the actual frame from the floor down is actually stainless steel. So really the only rust that we have right now is just cosmetic. It's not gonna be a huge deal to replace. And like I said, we're already gonna be doing that roof raise. So I have, 1.5 inch tubing that we're gonna put in. So structurally, it should be a lot stronger than what's in there right now. So I just want to make sure that that's actually safe. We're going to do a lot of cross beams. Let's see, we're actually going to have a few beams go from side to side just to make sure that we got a lot of horizontal support. And I think that's pretty much it for right now. You know, this weekend we're actually going to go to that Tiny House Festival up in Nashville. You know, being in Memphis, we're only 3 hours away. So we're going to go up there, check that out. And then Friday and Sunday, I'm going to be working on the bus, and hopefully we'll have the suspension done. I'm shooting for like another month, and then hopefully we'll be able to drive it, make sure everything's working really good, and then that roof raise comes. So if you like following us, you like hearing me talk, like seeing our progress, please follow us on TikTok, Instagram. I even have a Facebook page and a YouTube now. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe, and see you guys on the road.